In this episode, we'll continue from where we left off by looking at why people respond so differently when uncertainty shows up. Some people move straight into overthinking, while others do the opposite and pull away. Both responses make sense, even though they look very different on the surface. When uncertainty appears, the nervous system looks for a way to regain stability. Overthinking and pulling away are two common strategies for doing that. One moves toward information, the other moves away from stimulation. Both are attempts to reduce internal strain. Overthinking is often misunderstood as a problem with thinking too much. In practice, it's a problem with not knowing. When information is missing, the mind tries to generate it. Thoughts multiply because the system is searching for clarity. You might recognize this in moments where your mind keeps returning to the same topic, replaying conversations, anticipating outcomes, testing different explanations. The thinking feels active, but it rarely feels settling. What's happening is that thinking is being used to manage uncertainty. Each thought is an attempt to narrow the range of possible outcomes. The difficulty is that uncertainty rarely resolves through analysis alone. Without new information, thinking loops. Pulling away works differently. Instead of moving toward uncertainty, the system reduces exposure to it. Attention narrows. Engagement drops. People may delay responding, avoid decisions, or disengage from situations that feel unclear. This isn't hindrance, it's containment. By reducing contact with uncertainty, the system limits stimulation. Less input means less activation. For some people, this feels safer than staying engaged while not knowing. You might notice this in everyday behavior: putting off a conversation, not opening a message, avoiding making plans, choosing distraction over engagement. These behaviors reduce immediate discomfort, even if they create longer term tension. What's important to understand is that both overthinking and pulling away are learned responses. They develop through experience. If thinking once led to clarity, the system repeats it. If withdrawal once reduced overwhelm, that strategy becomes familiar. People often judge their response by comparing it to others. Overthinkers may wish they could detach more easily. Those who pull away may wish they could stay engaged without shutting down. Neither response is inherently better, they simply reflect different ways of managing activation. Biology plays a role here too. Some nervous systems are more inclined towards mobilization. They respond to stress with energy and movement, which can translate into mental activity. Others incline toward conversation. They respond by reducing input and slowing down. Social learning matters as well. If expressing uncertainty wasn't safe or effective in the past, people learned to manage it internally. That management can take the form of thinking or withdrawing, depending on what worked. These patterns often show up most clearly in relationships. One person wants to talk things through repeatedly, the other wants space. The difference isn't about care, it's about regulation. Over time, these differences can create misunderstanding. Overthinking can feel intrusive, pulling away can feel rejecting. Without understanding the underlying pattern, both sides may feel unheard. What helps is recognizing the intention beneath the behavior. Both responses are attempts to settle the system. Neither is meant to create distance or tension, even if that's what happens. As emotional confidence develops, people often become more flexible in how they respond to uncertainty. Overthinkers may notice they can pause the mental loop without forcing it to stop. Those who pull away may notice they can stay present a little longer without feeling overwhelmed. This flexibility doesn't eliminate the original tendency. It widens the range of possible responses. Instead of one default reaction, there are options. You might notice moments where you recognize your usual response starting, but you don't follow it through. That interruption is often a first sign of change. Understanding these patterns also reduces self-judgment. Overthinking and pulling away stop feeling like flaws and start making sense as strategies. That shift alone can reduce intensity. In the next episode, we'll look at how tolerance for uncertainty actually builds in real life and why it develops through experience rather than control, reassurance, or forcing yourself to respond differently.